Welcome to the System to Success show. On this show, we'll cover the best growth advice from top CEOs in North America and beyond. On each episode, your host, Jay Crutchfield, he's a former software engineer turned entrepreneur, created and maintained online marketing, online sales, and fulfillment systems for global brands. He offers non-traditional wisdom about business systems mastery, while his guests share the story of how they built their companies. Jay and his guests talk entrepreneurship, digital marketing, strategy, and business principles. But they also talk about what it means to be human with all the ups and downs, advances, and setbacks. And what he does is he takes his information and strategies that has helped catapult global brands and brings that to the small business owner to give them that advantage. Make sure to subscribe and follow for more of these business system mastery principles.
To today's episode of the System to Success show. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how to multiply your business income with 50% or more less effort. All right. So just wanted to share a quick story about my grandmother. Like, I remember having a conversation with my grandmother, right? And at the time, she was about 73. So it was about 12 years ago. So doing the math, she's 85 years young now. Yay. And I was sharing with her how I was using my mind to solve different business problems to make things easier for those business owners using software. And she looked at me, and I still remember, man, she looked at me and said, "That isn't work." And I'm like, man, I'm shocked, stunned. But then I remembered that she came up in a time where physical effort is what equated to work, in her mind and in the mind of her peers. She was in healthcare, and she would be assisting patients, taking care of patients, sometimes at the hospital, sometimes in their home. And so she equated physical labor and effort with work. And I looked up the definition of work, and it shares that work is activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. And so what she didn't know on that side was what I was doing was work involving a mental effort. And so that mental effort can really lead to some great things and great results when we use it properly. All right. And so, Grandma, I still love you. So having created and maintaining online marketing, online sales, and online fulfillment systems for years, I still find it fascinating when someone says to me that their business processes that can't be duplicated, really can't be outsourced because it's unique to them. When I know that when properly assessed and evaluated, that it can, right? And so I remember a computer science professor telling me years ago, he said that, "Jay, I got into technology because I'm lazy. I don't like doing repetitive tasks. I don't like doing things over and over again. And I've always found a way to set things up, right? So that I can set it and forget it, that I don't have to keep doing things over and over." And I looked at that. I was like, dude, that's not lazy. That's genius, right? And so that comes to mind when talking about that is the law of the lever. And I know some of you can remember this too. Back in the day, being at the playground, getting on a seesaw, and we used to play on that as kids. And we would get on the edge of the seesaw, right? And your friend would get on, brother, sister, cousin, whoever would get on the other side of that seesaw. And you both will be sitting on it, and it would be balanced. And then one person would jump down, and the other person would go up. Then the other person would jump down as they're sitting on it, and the other person will go up. And what they were doing was applying that force to that seesaw on that edge so that it will be more simple to bring that person up in the air, because it will be much more challenging to pick them up, right? Pick them up with your own hands, legs, and lift them. That's much more challenging, right? And so why do you bring this up, Jay? I bring this up because what we want to do in our businesses is be able to apply a force that's going to give us a greater output than the force being applied. So, for example, like when you hear marketers talk about they're running paid advertisements and they're able to put $1 in and get $2 back, $3 back, $4 back or more, right? Whether they know it or not, they're using the law of the lever, right? Right? They're using the law of the lever. And so in our business, we have levers or levers, however you want to say it. And so what are the levers in our business? The levers in our business, the first one is getting people to be interested in what we have to offer, what you have to offer. And so that's generating the leads, generating interest, right? The second one is converting that person from a looky-loo to a buy and bob. And so that's the conversion, lead conversion. And then we have ascending those customers or clients to buying higher ticket items from us. And so that's that client ascension, getting them to go higher, right? Our client escalation, right? And then the next one we have is getting them to keep coming back over and over to buy from us. And that's the client preservation, preserving them as clients. And so those are the 4 levers in our business. And so what we can do is apply input to any one of those areas of our business, and it will have an exponential effect and outcome on our business, right? And so let's just say, for example, let's just do some simple math, right? So let's say you have 100 leads coming into your business, and your conversion rate for converting them from clients, converting from the stranger to a client, right, is 10%. And you have, let's say $1,000 product, right? $1,000 product. So 10% of bringing in that 100 people is 10 people, right? And so you had 10 people paying you $1,000, that's $10,000. Now, if you turn just one of those levers, let's say you bring your conversion up just to 20%, with those same 100 people, that's 20 people. And what have you done with that? 20 people paying you $1,000. That's $20,000 instead of the $10,000 just by moving one of those levers, right? And so you can pick any of these levers in your business to have a multiplication, an exponential effect on your business. So that's great, Jay. You show me the math, and that's super, super amazing. Like, I know the levers now. Now, how can I actually do that? So I'll give a couple examples, and then we can share in later episodes on that. Just to make sure this episode isn't too long on here. All right. So just thinking about lead generation. How can you generate more leads, right? How can you have using leverage to generate more leads? The one of the known ways, of course, is running paid advertisements. That's being able to get your offer out there to way more people than you going out down the street and passing out flyers, right? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've done that also too. We want to be able to use the leverage to be able to move the fastest with the least amount of input to get the greatest amount of output. So using paid advertisement, we can also reach out, client outreach, with using platforms like LinkedIn, of course, Facebook, Instagram, and others. Right. And you don't have to do that yourself, because we talked about using 50% less effort. You run those paid ads, that's going to run 24/7. It's going to run like clockwork, right? Without you having to do anything else. Right. And then for reaching out and outreach, you don't have to do that yourself. I mean, there's so many resources that you can use, like such as hiring an appointment setter, hiring a virtual assistant to actually get out there and do it for you on your behalf, so you can focus on the specific revenue generating activities, right? And so those are a couple ways on the lead generation side. Yeah, we'll definitely have more specifics on that lead conversion, that client escalation, getting them higher, and then client preservation, with a continuity program to keep people coming back to you over and over, and you providing value that way, just like a Netflix, just like a Hulu, or even your cable company, right? Cable subscription. All right. So those are some ways that you can actually multiply your business income with 50% less effort. So make sure you go ahead and apply at least one. But if you're really feeling froggy, apply all four so you can see a really exponential growth in your business. All right. And let me know that you did it. Okay. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe and follow for more business systems mastery principles. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode.